It's Bioson and DJ Sylvae.
We can rock on a pod or a stage. We move like a squad when we rock, yeah, we paid our dues. Pop bottles, we claim our views, and the grind don't stop because we some straight shooter.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the Straight Shooters, episode number 1 podcast. I am Bioson, your host. I have a very special guest with me tonight. We got Mr. Stuart Mclellan, a.k.a. the West Coast Warlord, a.k.a. Stu Cruel, a.k.a. the Champ, a.k.a. your mama's favorite boxer. We got Matt Cote running the digital end of things, killing it. DJ Sylvae, you might know him as. So we're going to jump right into it. Please like, subscribe, share, and all that jazz. Help us out. You guys are going to hear a little bit of noise. We got to introduce yourself, Champ.
How's everybody doing? I'm the West Coast Warlord, Stuart Mclellan. That'd be my boxing name. Also my government name. My wrestling name is Stu Cruel. I'm rocking shows all over the West Coast. I got a wrestling ring in my dojo. Yeah, we're hitting towns, just building what we got here.
Actually, didn't you say this wrestling ring used to belong to one of the greats?
Legend has it was Dynamite Kid, I believe. But
Nice. So you were just out in Edmonton this last weekend, handling some wrestling biz. Why don't you break that down for us?
Sure was. Rocking with my tag team partner out there. Monster Pro Wrestling holds shows. Oh, that guy with that hammer.
Go tune him up, man. You're a boxer.
Handle your business.
Get over there.
So yeah, at Monster Pro Wrestling rocks the show first Friday of every month, and we went out, did our thing. We came out on the losing end, but a hell of a show. There was over 200 people there, and you know that's what we do: light the crowd up and have a good time. Eh, Bioson?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. He has a wrestling event coming up at the Limelight here on the 18th. Go grab your tickets for it. Add me up on Facebook and ask me, or add Stu Cruel. He'll make it happen for you. So what, aside from wrestling, you've been busy with that. You have the dojo, obviously, and you're teaching kids how to wrestle and all that. That's amazing. So you come from a boxing background. So why don't you fill the people in on your boxing background a little bit? And do you have anything popping off in the near future here, like jumping back into the ring? I know you've been really busy with the wrestling thing for a few years now. So what's happening in your boxing world?
Well, it all started here. I just wandered into the local dojo with our local coaches, and I was a fat kid, so I had to cut a bunch of weight. One thing led to the next. Started winning some amateur tournaments. I got a call on 3 weeks' notice, I believe, for turning pro. That's short notice. Don't know what I'm doing. I'm a hillbilly from Williams Lake, and yeah, one thing led to the next, and had a hell of a career. Just trying to get back in the mix. What was the last setback? I was down in, I was set to go down to Mexico, have a comeback, I believe, in February.
Right.
So there's always shenanigans going on at Stu's house. People are always throwing kicks, wrestling, so on. So I'm chilling, eating a plate of supper, and I caught a plate flying. A straight kick hit the plate, hit my teeth. Missed another tooth, my brother. So then we were looking at doing a show here with Tio Fista again, but we didn't get approval from the commission, unfortunately. So back to the drawing board.
Well, you were kind of underselling it a little bit. I mean, you said you had a pretty busy and impressive career, but I mean, this is one of his title belts right here. The last time I checked, you had 5 title belts under your belt. So, I mean, you've fought some legends that are now, you know what I mean, doing big TV fights. So I would say it's like an impressive career is kind of an understatement for what you've done and accomplished. So.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a ride. The thing was, I didn't have the right guidance, proper training, or know fully what I was doing for the booking. So, I ended up with, I fought the current middleweight champion by the name of Janabek Alam Ganuli. He owns 2 of the middleweight belts, and I got that fight on 3-4 weeks notice, and I'm a welterweight, and I just went in there with him, and he's an animal. Like, you know, I've never been stumped so bad in the ring in my life. Right?
Yeah, that was a different look, man.
Yeah,
that guy was a beast. Like, just yeah, what a fight.
he's running the middleweight division. I don't think anyone will beat him, but that was one of the crazy ones I had. But
And sorry for interrupting, Stu, but for you folks out there listening, when he's saying middleweight division, he's not talking Golden Gloves or, you know what I mean, some knockoff. He's talking WBC, like the world running the complete middleweight division. That's the caliber that Stu was fighting at and possibly will be in the future. So really do your homework on some of these names that he's bringing up, because we're going to get into it and we're talking legendary status, folks. So make sure you do your homework and understand.
absolutely, if you need, go check out the website boxrec.com and check it out. You can look my record up. You can see all my matches, Mexico and all over, and you can just carry on and look at every fighter's record. It's a really cool website.
What was that guy's name? So you went to your training camp in Dallas for Janabek, was it?
I was down in Los Angeles, actually.
Okay, what was the little guy's name with the one eye?
Oh, Shane Langford.
Okay.
My brother from Prince George.
So Stu brings this guy into the boxing gym. I do a little bit of boxing myself, and they're doing hand pads and hitting the pads, and you know, I had to give this guy a ride to Vancouver and whatnot. Anyway, Stu sends me a video, and what was it, Maroon 5?
It was Maroon 5, yeah. I can't recall the exact song.
Yeah,
over 1 billion views.
Yeah, so it was one of Maroon 5 or Maroon 5's biggest songs. I'm gonna try and look it up here, but in the meantime, he sends me a video, and he's like, "Dude, check this out. It's the one where Adam Levine is boxing." I'm not gonna look it up right now.
It's called One More Night.
It's called One More Night. Okay, so it's called One More Night. The little guy holding the hand pads for Adam Levine was in Williams Lake, and
Unreal.
yeah, it was fucking crazy. He's like, "Let me know if you recognize that guy," and it was mind blowing. Like well over 1 billion views. So that was insane.
It gets wild because that guy, Freddie Roach, Manny Pacquiao's trainer, he took Shane into the gym, and he lived in the dojo. He trained Dave Chappelle, all kinds of movie stars. And
Wild.
his story was, I don't know, he was out in Saskatchewan for whatever reason. And Shane tells me he's going to be there in a couple days as fast as he can, but he's hitchhiking on his way out. I'm like, I beg your pardon.
I wonder if he was right here, right now, if he would go tune up the guy next door.
Oh, no problem. Without question.
Nice. Yeah,
That's my
man.
dog.
Boxing's crazy. You've introduced me to some. Like, I remember I went to one of his fights in Edmonton, and we walk into this room and like CTV's there, and what's Jelena?
Jelena Mrjenovic, my good friend and 8-time world champion.
Just insane. Like, you're just surrounded by all these people, and we're just like from Williams Lake. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, Stu, you're killing it, man. You show up flashy, and you got the tux on, and it was just a different level, man. And
Bro, it's all about being a show. You know, in the hip hop industry, it's the same thing. And you've introduced me to as many legends through hip hop as I've done for you in boxing. But, you know, it's all about your image. And I show up from the weigh-in, and my character starts then and there when you see
Yes,
the
sir.
guy at a show, right?
yeah.
That's how we do it. And if you don't do big and believe in yourself, this guy in that hammer, eh?
Was it, who was it? Was it Ryan Wagner when you guys were like doing the press conference, and like all the guys were like showing up, and they're doing the face off, they're flexing and staring at each other. Then they turn around and flex at the crowd. And I mean, I'm in a room with like, I'm going to say probably 60, 70 people, and everyone's like, oh, okay, this is this guy. This is this guy. Explain that. 'Cause I remember that just when you did this thing, the whole fucking room was on their feet screaming and freaking out.
Well, I took the wrestling angle, and to book matches, I learned to get heat in people's other, like in their particular hometown. So I might talk shit. It could be to them. Him in particular, sparred him in the gym, and I always thought he was a fucking punk, which he is. And I don't know what. I think we were drunk in a bar when I got the call for the match. I think, weren't we?
I think so. Yeah, we were in Edmonton.
We were in Edmonton at Duster's Pub.
That's right.
On a piss up, and I got a text or a call from the promoter Mel Lubavak, KO Boxing, and she says, "Hey, you want to fight Ryan Wagner in 3 weeks? I lost my main event." And I said, "Hell yeah, I hate that guy, you know." And then it gets worse. Me and this guy had so much friggin' heat. I bet my whole purse on the match, and I lost a 6-round split, which I felt I got jobbed, but I don't cry like a bitch over that, but. You know, it was my first loss, and I took it hard. But, yeah, I bet my whole purse.
I remember watching that fight, and it was like it seemed like it was just like such a simple thing that he was doing. I was actually working the corner for that, too, and just doing minor work. I don't want to sound like a big shot. All I was doing was holding a spit bucket. And
you were running show, bro.
I was dabbing a sponge on his head, but I got front row seats to a pretty legendary fight, long story short. So he seemed like he was just like getting down, like really low. Like he would kneel down. So you're throwing out over top of him. And it just seemed like, you know what I mean? Cause you're a very good counter puncher, and you're very like good at like close quarter combat. Right. So he just seemed like he was just bending down just enough to get out of your way. And those shots that would normally land and just put somebody out, they were just off by a little bit. Would you say that's fair or what?
Well, the truth is, I was burning the midnight oil during camp every night. I had zero focus. I mean, you were probably out partying with me, if you catch my drift.
No,
I'm talking about Ric Flair nights every night, 3 weeks before the match, and whoa! Oh, I can't even stew it right now. But yeah, I didn't take the fight serious. He told me he was coming at me, so I expected the motherfucker to come at me. But then he was running around the ring like a bitch, and I thought the guy was here to fight, man. Same shit happened with Cody Crowley, another chump.
See, the way you're talking, though, I feel like if they ever heard or watched this, maybe a rematch?
I'm always down for a rematch. I'm like, I'm 37 years old now.
But with him, though,
anytime.
I don't want any part of it.
Anytime. I'm where the money's at. People want the entertaining fucking matches where there's heat. That's the point you guys don't get about boxing. You guys think it's all about my name, my this, your record. No, it's about getting heat. Make it interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And you always played the villain, and I mean, you got a lot of hate for it, but you got a lot of love for it too, because how many times have we walked in? Well, you've walked into a room, but I've also been there for a few of them, and it's just like, you are the villain, and it's like, are we gonna get fucked up out here, or what's going on? A lot of mean mugging going on.
Oh, that goes back to the worst one of all, the most heat.
I had a feeling.
We got to go into Cody Crowley. Yeah. So I must have 300 plus Facebook comments when you could talk mad shit. I mean, I'd shoot on their families, their whole thing. My point was to get this guy to give me the money I wanted to come to his hometown and fight me. And so I did. I talked so much shit, but I had 3,500 people wishing death upon me.
Oh.
But the funny thing, after the fight ended, I grabbed a microphone from this young cat, and I said, "Give me the mic, kid." And he gave me the mic, and I said, "I'm a real fighter. Cody Crowley beat me. He must be a real fighter."
Yeah.
Nothing but high fives on the way out,
Right on.
Well, my dad didn't get stabbed, which was important to me.
Well, admiral in defeat, right?
Be humble in defeat.
Be humble. Be humble.
Amen.
Because you can't win them all, West Coast. There's always going to be some young gunner, some fucking Jake Paul throwing down out of nowhere.
You didn't just say that, did you?
Some Jake Paul's going to come strolling in and think he can take on the world of Mike Tyson, and one thing leads to another, and you got yourself a promotional masterpiece. And
I think Vince McMahon probably booked that one.
Hey, how much money would it cost for you to fight Jake Paul right now?
$1 million.
$1 million, Jake Paul.
And I'd light him the fuck up.
Here's the call out. We're doing it.
Yeah, suck it.
Yep. So who do you got in that fight?
It basically. So I just said Vince McMahon booked it probably. So it probably boils down to whoever the promoter decides the most money is.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Mayweather carry him, and that was an absolute.
That was Logan
joke.
Paul, wasn't it? I think Mayweather fought Logan Paul.
The gist of it is that they're kind of like rigged matches.
Yeah,
is what they're exhibitions.
Yeah.
That keep us entertained, but they're not. They're not two guys. It's not Mike Tyson in his prime. That's what everyone expects and wants to see, but we're not there anymore. That was 30, 40 friggin' years ago.
But I feel like Mike Tyson could still break some ribs or break somebody's jaw or whatever, right? Like, I don't think his power is completely off the grid.
He's probably got dad strength now.
He's got what?
Dad strength.
Yeah, well, he's got dad strength.
Grandfather strength.
I like
It
what he
just
did to
amplifies
Allen in
every time.
Hangover. You know, we can't forget about that.
One punch.
Quick work, you know
Talk
what I
to one
mean?
punch.
So, I mean, that's kind of a complicated situation because, exactly like you said, it's a show. And the first time I seen that kind of shit coming into boxing was when Mayweather fought Conor McGregor. And I remember all the UFC fanatics freaking out, and they were like, Conor's got this. All it's going to take is one shot, blah, blah, blah. Even my little brother's hit me up. He's like, dude, who do you think's going to win? I'm like, are you fucking serious? I was like, there is no way an amateur boxer is going to be the best boxer on earth. It's a show. Like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen, but it's a show. Like, and even early into the fight, it was like, okay, like, he's just...
Yeah, bro, Mayweather never compromises his balance.
Absolutely.
He's walking around the ring like this. So I knew it was a joke, but
Yeah.
I give everybody 10-1 odds because I knew what was up, and I believe I won $1,100. So I would have been 11 grand in the hole should things went awry.
Yeah. No, that was wild, man. And I mean, I'm not knocking the UFC either for anyone thinking that. I mean, anybody that sets up a fight of that caliber, I mean, you're not getting the boxing masterpiece, but like,
Brother,
that sells.
What I loved about that was everybody says UFC's outdoing boxing. UFC's outdoing boxing. Why did they sell their number one guy out in a different sport? You know what I'm saying? So that meant a lot to me that they sold Conor McGregor out for $100 million. It says boxing's winning the war of sports of this and that, right? And the Tyson Furies, Usyk, and the big matches, that's what makes the game, brother.
Well, it's actually crazy because there is a, I don't know if it's on Netflix or where it's at, but they're talking about Jake Paul, and Mike Tyson in the special is talking about how the Paul brothers, regardless of their fighting capabilities, are just revolutionizing boxing. And that's why he has so much respect for them. And he talks exactly like you're like touching on the same topic you're talking about is, and he's just like, man, like, they're just setting up the craziest fights, and they're bringing it back. They're making boxing popular when boxing wasn't necessarily the most popular thing on earth, because I mean, you see boxing, there's no big characters in it, I guess would be the best. There is and there isn't, right?
Bro, yay and nay, they're putting together nice exhibitions. Like if you saw Rocky 3, you got Hulk Hogan fucking Thunder Lips or whatever, and he's having a tussle with Rocky, the heavyweight champion. That's kind of the degree they're at. But in the real deal, you got Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk, a couple weeks away, and that's a real match. Two guys are coming to win, put it all on the line. So I'll put my money into that rather than Jake Paul, but I'll probably go over to a buddy's house and catch it for free.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, I think I'm just gonna put some money on Tyson just for the sake of old school boxing.
How much?
I don't know. Couple $100 or something, maybe. I don't know.
100 right now, me and you, brother.
Okay.
Done deal.
You got Tyson or you got Paul?
I got Paul.
Okay. It's done deal. We're watching at your house. You're gonna pay the pay-per-view?
Oh man, I'm going through a divorce. I don't know about that.
Snacks? Are you gonna have snacks?
Yeah, I always got snacks and
Sweet.
beer at my
You got
house.
snacks.
You know me, dog.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
That's Glendale.
So, one other thing I wanted to ask you about, and just because I haven't heard this in a long time, but Roberto Duran, you bumped into him, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I've met Roberto actually several times. But the one, I'll get into it first. That my older brother, Roberto McLellan, he's named after Roberto Duran. So he's always been a legend in our house. When I was a kid, they had posters of Duran all in my living room and shit. That's kind of my guy my dad was. So I'm down watching my friend Jelena in Panama. Me and my friend Chris went down on a piss up after my first loss. Wind up at Roberto's bar of all things. Man, and we smashed beers till 3, 4, 5 in the morning. I don't even know.
That's sick.
That's one of the most legendary times of and nights of my life,
Yeah, no doubt.
Our good friend Jelena, the 8-time world champion, helped us out and set that shit up. So God bless her.
Did you meet Shannon Briggs?
Yeah, we happened to be down at the hotel, and Shannon's just kicking it outside. Me and Chris chopped it up with him for 10 minutes.
Wow.
Really nice cat. He told us to come down to Miami anytime. Like, these are the kind of nice guys in boxing you meet, You think everyone's a arrogant dickhead, but it doesn't work like that. We're very humble people.
Stu actually got to meet Tyson Fury as well.
Oh, yeah, that was
Not under the best circumstances, but he still met him.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I just got brained by Janabek, the 2-time world champion. That guy in the fucking drill, eh? I just got brained by the 2-time world champion now. This is before he was champion, of course. And I stagger out of the ring, and who's standing there? I'm like, man, that guy's something big. Absolutely, it was Tyson Fury. We snapped a shot. A very nice gentleman. God bless him. Love what he's doing for the sport,
Yeah.
Legend.
I remember like a couple months back, I was in the middle of making a track with Eazy's son, Baby Easy. It's actually out on YouTube and Spotify and all that right now. But
check it out. Check
he's
it
a
out.
He's a big boxing fan, and I brought your name up because we were originally going to shoot a music video for that track, and he's like, McLellan. He's like, didn't he fight Janabek? And then he started going through a list of all the guys you were fighting, and I was like, what in the flying F is going on here? How the fuck does he know all this? Like, any of the big, like, last 5 names, you fought, because your last 5, I would say, is probably like the bigger caliber fighters, right?
Absolutely. Like
Crowley and Janabek.
In your rap game, you have to build your resume before you go to the big stage. So that's what I had to do. I had to do fights for not much money in Mexico, shit like that. And then you build your resume. So the bigger matches came at the end of my career, and the biggest were Cody Crowley and Janabek and stuff like that. And they were tough matches, and things didn't go precisely my way. But, that's a game, and you just don't want to cry about it. But
no. And the one thing I've always respected about you is, I mean, you might have walked away for boxing for a little while or whatever, but you kept the athleticism. You made the transition into wrestling. You're selling out venues all over Williams Lake in the Caribou, etc. You know what I mean? You're not walking away from boxing training. You're still running. You're still sparring. You're still working. You know what I mean? You're still sticking with it. So I'm like curious, are you going to be open to taking some bites in the future, or what's going on? Like,
yo, yeah, absolutely, brother. The phone still rings. I'm a hot name. People know that. They know they're gonna get the heat. You watching this right now? You fucking book me. I'll give you the biggest show your town has ever seen. Look at me and Cody Crowley.
I've seen it. I seen you throw. How many people did we have in Williams Lake? He threw a boxing show here in Williams Lake a few years ago, and that was when you lost your second tooth. The asshole that headbutted you.
Well, that was a cool thing, because that was my first project promoting, and I didn't even believe or know I could do it. And the dream is to sell out Williams Lake, and we had 1,100 people sold out.
Wow,
insane for a honky town with like 20,000. But what was the original question?
That's a good question. Next question.
That's my dog. I don't know. Had a couple beers,
All right, y'all. That's episode number 1, part 1. We'll be right back. We're going to refill our refreshments.
Ooh. Yeah, it's Bioson and DJ Sylvae.
We can rock on a pod or a stage. We move like a squad when we rock.